Okay, let's go into the next video. Okay, so the next video we're going to do is defense against kicks while on the ground. Okay, defense against kicks while on the ground. Okay, so the really important thing here is that if you end up on the ground at some stage during a fight or a tussle or whatever, you need to be able to defend yourself, okay, from the ground. It's very dangerous while you're on the ground. Okay, if somebody was on the ground here in front of me, I've got gravity on my side, okay? I've not only do I have gravity on my side as I kick down or punch downwards, I've got that force of gravity on my side. Nothing's stopping me from getting a full swing or a full kick in, okay? The other thing is, as I said just then, you can really power up and really come in with your kicks, okay? That's not good for the person on the ground. The person on the ground they can get reasonably decent kicks if they know what they're doing, but they are in big problems because they have limited movement while on the ground, okay? Whereas the person that's standing up can move around a lot freer, okay? Also, when you're on the ground, you can't just run away, okay? If you get outnumbered or whatever, you can't just run away. You're like stuck on the ground. You've got to be able to get up and then be able to decide whether you're going to continue your self-defense in that location or run or whatever you're going to do. Back away. Okay? So, ultimately, we want to be able to stay on our feet. That is the key. We should try to remain on our feet at all times. Because then if we need to run, if we get way outnumbered or outgunned, so to speak, you know, people have knives and other kinds of weapons, you may need to make a move out of there. Okay, so if we do end up on the ground, however, we have to defend ourselves. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into defense, protecting ourselves from kicks while on the ground. And this is not just really defense against kicks while on the ground, it's also going to protect us from defense against punches and things like that. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to zoom this camera down a little bit, okay, and hopefully we can see what's going on from here. Alright, so I'll come over here a bit, so hopefully you can see, let's say trees are in the shot. I'll bring it up just a tad. We don't have our camera operator, so okay, so let's say for instance I end up on the ground. Alright, let's say I end up going down this way. Okay. The first thing I want to do is I want to try and roll and get into a position where I've got my most powerful leg up, preferably. Okay? Your strongest leg. The next thing we do, we can either be down like this, okay, or we can come up onto our elbow, okay? I prefer being on the elbow, but it depends on what you're doing. Now, our bottom leg needs to be curled inwards, okay? It gives us that stable base, okay? Our balance while we're on the ground, right? A solid position. The other leg here, our kicking leg, is in this position here where we can drive it out, okay? Drive our leg out at whatever height we decide is necessary to be able to kick, and this leg should be driving out like so, okay? Bang, bang, really powerful, okay? The arm here, okay, is here to protect our face, protect our head, but don't put it in the way where you can't see people. You need to have it here, okay, but it's here to protect you, alright? You shouldn't really need it, because they've got to get past your leg first. So, if Teresa comes into the shot, right, so see if we can get her into the shot there. Okay, I'll come back a little bit. Okay, now if Teresa tries to come up here and get close to me, just come close to Teresa, I can kick her from about here. Okay, so come in a little bit closer, boom. We can kick in the knee, we can kick in the shin. Okay, but we don't want to go up too high, because otherwise they'll grab your leg. We want to stay down low, where it's stronger, more powerful, and it makes it harder for them to grab our leg. Okay, target the knee, target the shin, full power, okay, depending on the situation. So let's go. Let's imagine that Teresa was trying to, I won't kick Teresa as hard as I possibly can, it's not going to be something we want to do for training, but let's imagine Teresa tries to get around me. Okay, alright, so you can see there, I can move, you can swivel around, okay? If you needed to, you could swap over and change this way, okay? You can still kick powerful even with your weaker leg, okay? Alright, you can still kick quite powerfully. We can turn right around, okay? You can spin, okay? Now, so we can protect ourselves on the ground. It's very hard when you start getting 2 or more attackers. It's harder, but you can do it. Okay? Now the next thing, we need to be able to get up. So, if you can imagine, I'm like this here. Okay? The first thing we want to do, as soon as there's enough distance between us and the attacker or attackers, okay, we then come up onto our hand here, okay, so we're basically coming from shoulder to elbow to hand, okay, and then this foot here, when we're ready, we drive it into the ground, we force ourselves up, and we come into a stance, okay, so I'm going to do that again. We may end up here, we come onto here, we're moving around, we're kicking, we make enough space away from the attacker moves back far enough, we drive our leg into the ground, okay, we come up onto our hand, and we drive our body up, and we go into a stance. Alright, how long should it take? Doesn't take long, okay, boom, boom. Okay, we go into a stance. From there, you can continue to defend yourself. If you're up against multiple attackers, you may decide to diddy mow out of there, okay, get out of there. Alright, it's quite a simple technique and it's very effective. And trust me, I had to use that technique once in downtown Auckland, where I was surrounded by 4 guys. And I was spinning around, okay, and lucky I got out of that okay. And that was because I was helping out a friend that was being attacked. So it does work, and you need to know that if you do end up on the ground because 1, you tripped over, 2, the other person took you to the ground and you ended up falling on the ground apart from each other, okay, or 3, you're in a fight with somebody and the fight ends up going to the ground, they end up getting up somehow and you're still stuck down there and you got people on you where you can't just all of a sudden get up. Okay, you can do a lot of damage to somebody when you kick them in the knee, counter pressure here, or in the shin. Okay, a person doesn't want to just come in and try and do kicks or even try and reach over and punch at you. There's no way they're going to be able to reach over and punch at you. If somebody thinks they can jump up and try and jump up and jump into you, good luck to them while they're in mid-air. They may have their balance, but as soon as that kick hits them, they're going to go tumbling over. Okay, so that's defense against kicks from while you're on the ground. And hopefully you enjoyed something and learnt something new there. We did it on the grass area because I thought it'd be a bit nicer on my soft skin. But anyway, we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for coming along. Cheers. Bye-bye.